Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a tutorial on this eye look right here. It is basically my classic go-to style, if you will, but there's actually a lot of little things that kind of go into nailing this look, because on this, placement matters. So I tried to make this pretty in-depth and detailed. So if you guys wanted to recreate this look, you would have all the tools that you need to know to do so. All right, I use the new KKW and Mario collab artist and Muse collection bundle. I got the lippies as well as the lip liner and then the blush that came. Palette looks like this. Oh, inspirational on so many different levels. I just love the whole vibe of this whole collection. And the packaging, by the way, is the bomb. I mean, the packaging is the same as it is on the palette. And then the blush had this packaging also, as well as the lip had this just super packaging. All right, that's it. So if you guys want to see how I created this look, then just keep on watching. And if you guys are new here, want to take a second to welcome you to the video and my channel. My name is Lauren Jade. I'm 57. I have mature, crepey, wrinkly skin with hooded eyes that are slightly downturned. And I'm always looking for ways to rock this hooded eye situation and pass my tips and tricks on to you guys, even though I know we all have different eye shapes and there's different levels of hoodedness. I'm hoping with my detailed instruction that I like to do, I'm hoping you guys can pick up a few tips and tricks so you guys can rock your hooded eyes if that is what you have. That is what I have, and that is what I am working with. So that's it. And if you guys are new, I would love to have you join me. Please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell right next to it. That way YouTube will notify you each and every time I upload. And without further ado, let's just get right into this tutorial. Using a little bit of the P. Louise base in the shade Rumor 2. Just going to prime here. I'm not going to go too heavy on the lids because I'm planning to place another primer there. Before I do the lid, I'm probably going to do a white base. You guys know how much I like that because it just makes the shadows pop. Basically, I'm putting this primer everywhere where I'm planning to place some shadow. All right, I take that back. I'm going to use the shade So Many Paparazzi just because it's close enough to the skin tone shade, and it's very similar to my Melts Blur. So I'm just going to tap this on. Grab a little bit of this sand shade right here and just kind of dust that right underneath the brow bone. And then a little bit of it right in here. So in this inner corner, I'm going to hit a little bit. And then I'm just going to pull it down so it kind of meets in with that paparazzi shade. And I'm going to do, I think, just a tiny bit of baking. Normally, I like to do this step if I'm going to use glitter for sure. But I've kind of gotten used to it, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I'm using a mixture of the Ben Nye Luxury Banana Powder as well as the RCMA White No Color Translucent Powder. I've got a little mixture in here. I think I might have a little bit of Fair RCMA in there as well. So I'm just going to do a little... just a tiny little bit here. Okay, I don't know if I mentioned this, but that sand shade came from the, this is the Tarte Clay Play Volume 1. So a couple things that's really paramount to this overall look is, as I've mentioned before, because I've gone through this in a few other tutorials, so I'm not going to go too in depth, but you guys know that it's the brow alignments as well as connecting this nose contour up through that upper socket region and just kind of how everything connects. And we kind of want the bronzer to have that kind of lit from within look. So I'm going to show you guys a couple different ways just to make it super soft and just kind of pat that into the skin so you really do get that, you know, lit from within look. So it's just like it's all coming out of the skin, if that makes any sense. So this is the Zoeva Brow Definer Brush. This is the 322, I think. So I usually just go in here and I just kind of carve out this region right in here just to make sure that the alignment is set. The other thing that we're going to do to kind of complete this look is just kind of start with the nose contouring. So I'm going to grab, I'm using this cheek leader. This is the Bronze Squad, and I'm going to use just the brush that it came with. And I'm going to start with the Hula shade. As always, I am going to bronze my crease, but first I'm going to start by putting in a little right in here through the nose, just a little bit of light contouring right here. And I'm going to make sure that I get this region right up in here. I'm going to switch to a MAC. This is a angled shader brush, but any angled shader brush will do. And now I'm going to be a little bit more precise. I'm going to hit this region right up in here. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to grab a little bit more, and I'm going to take this right in here, this little area right here, up through, and I'm just going to brush this right on up. And now I'm just going to bronze the crease a little bit more. I'm just using a fluffy brush now for this, and I'm just going to go right in this upper crease area right here. And I'm just going to take this high up through the brow and just kind of connect it in with this little nose contour area that I just did, just so it kind of all is in one. And then I'm going to kind of wing this out. I'm going to start my winging out process here because I kind of want everything to go up and out. So I'm just feathering this out towards the temple. All right, now I'm going to be a little bit more precise, and I'm going to do a little bit more contouring. I'm going to put in some shadows, my little shadow crease. And I'm going to grab this, it's kind of relatively cool tone shade, this one here that says Don't Move. I'm going to use a Smith 247. And I'm going to start my contouring kind of right where I want those shadows, and it's going to be kind of right in this upper socket region. So kind of right in here, I'm just going to kind of start to define that area just a little bit more. Just kind of put in a little shadow crease. And this is very precise, and it takes a while to kind of figure out where exactly the placement needs to go, like on your own eye shape, because everybody's eye shape is different. So you just need to really kind of play with, and I'm doing this really, really soft. You kind of just need to play with placement, you know, so you can figure out where those shadows look best. Just very, very soft. And it's almost like it's connecting right in through this area here, this little shadow is. Pick up just a tiny bit more of that shade, and I'm going to put a little shadow crease right out here. You just kind of have to decide where you want your little shadow creases. So I'm going to put one out here just to get a little bit of depth right in here. And then I'm going to kind of connect it to this little one that I put up in here. And you always want to make sure that you are always going back to that first fluffy blending brush, and you're just kind of making sure that you're keeping everything nice and light and airbrushed out here. Sometimes I will pick up a little bit of that sand, that little bone shade that I used, and kind of use it as a nice little blending tool. These little bone shades, they're great for blending tool shades because they just kind of really melt and mesh in with, like, you know, some of your other shadows, so you get that really soft airbrushed look. And I'm just very lightly just sweeping out these edges. The Glam King shade, I love this shade. This is like one of my favorite ones in the palette. And now I'm going to be pretty precise, and I'm going to put in the actual fake crease. So I'm going to start right. I always start in the middle because that's kind of right where I can see, get the alignment that I'm looking for. And I'm going to take this really high up through the socket because, again, I would like to cheat the lid space and give myself a lot more lid space than I actually have. So I really want to focus on sculpting and contouring on this one. So I'm going to really get in here, get high up. And I'm not going to take it all the way like down to the end because, again, my eyes are slightly downturned. So this is kind of like my plug and play area. Is kind of like right in this little area right here. So that's kind of where I'm stopping. It's like this little soft, little squishy little portion of my eye that I can kind of push in. This is kind of where I start usually my outer corner and my outer, you know, my outer V kind of area, I guess, if you will, is just kind of right up in there. It is a little bit higher. I don't go all the way to the end because my eyes are slightly downturned. And again, I like to keep everything pulled up and out and going in that alignment. And I'm also going to lightly kind of get right on underneath that little socket right here toward the end and just kind of hug that little socket area and just kind of do a little flicking out. I'm still kind of doing my traditional kind of sideways S pattern, I guess, if you will. It kind of is a little winged out over here, and then it kind of comes up and then kind of comes straight across. So it's kind of almost like a little sideways. I think I can show it over here a little bit better. It's like a little sideways S. It kind of comes up and then kind of comes over. So it's almost like it's a little squiggly little kind of an S, a little sideways S, if that makes any sense. So I'm really taking this high, high, high up through the socket. Very, very, very high up through the socket. And I'm basically following my bone structure. So if you're doing this look and you're following your socket shape and you're going to be following your own eye shape, then you really need to, you know, spend some time studying your eye shape so you can hollow out your own socket. That way you're kind of following, you know, just what your eye does naturally. If that makes any sense. I am really hollowing up, really high up through the socket. Don't be afraid to take this really super high up because that's kind of the basis for this look. So if you don't want to use, you know, an angled liner brush like this, again, you could use something like an M433 or something that's just kind of flat like this brush is. This is the Smith 247. It's very slender, but it's tapered, and you can get in there and you can even kind of create a little precise line. And then the bristles on the side of the brush will blend it out for you. So that's kind of what I'm going to do now. I'm holding the brush horizontally because I want the bristles on the side of the brush to blend for me. So I'm just going to kind of soften that fake crease line that I made, and I'm just staying right in that upper socket. I'm not going anywhere because I don't want to blow this color out all over the place, right? That's why I'm not using a fluffy blending brush. I'm using this brush, which will give me a little bit more precision. And I kind of just want to soften that crease line, just kind of right where it is. And remember to keep pressing and pushing that contour and that shape right up into this inner socket region. So it really, so everything is just super soft, and it just looks like it's coming from within the skin and just kind of connected. And then the fluffy brush and the skin tone shade or a bone shade, and just remember to lightly dust out here just to keep everything nice and airy. And you guys know that I like to work in sections. So I will often work this back half, and then I will work this front half, this nose contour section, and then I just lightly connect through the middle. That just kind of helps me in my eye shape just because my eyes are slightly downturned. So I kind of prefer to work that way. It's just, everything is just easier. And just remember to keep, you know, blending out here. Just keep wisping that color out so everything stays airbrushed. And that's the goal. You want everything nice and airy out here. All right, now for the fun part. I'm going to actually put some of the P. Louise base in 0, which you guys know how much I love my NYX shadow base. So I'm going to take a tiny, tiny bit of this in white. And I mean just like the tiniest bit. And I'm using a P. Louise brush as well for this. And I'm going to concentrate this mainly on the front 3/4 because that's really where I want the shades that I'm going to use to pop. Lid. So I'm going to grab most of all of these shimmers except for just a couple. I'm going to use Mario's Muse, and I'm going to use I Need More Light, which is what I say all the time, and then a Beauty Campaign, which is just a stunning seashell, kind of a champagne silvery. Oh, love that shade. So I'm going to start with the Mario's Muse right out here. And then on that same side of that brush, this a P. Louise brush, I'm going to use the I Need More Light. And I'm just going to kind of mesh the two together here. So it just looks like they're kind of all flowing. And then I'm going to turn the brush over and I'm going to grab that really light Champagne Beauty Campaign shade. All right, I switched to just a tinier brush, this cream color brush from Laura Mercier, and I just dampened it just the slightest bit, just so that I could get a little bit more of that, kind of that metal foil effect. But lately I've been kind of not spritzing the brush because I just kind of love how the shimmers look on their own, and most of them don't even need it. Like this definitely does not need it, but I just wanted to kind of get a little bit more of a pop going. All right, now I'm going to go back to the, I need my Hourglass number 10. I'm going to go back to that first. This is the shade that I used to create the fake crease with, and I'm going to do that, this Glam King shade, and I'm just going to go right over the border of those shimmers and just kind of deepen up this crease. I'm using the flat to finer brush from Lamora and this I'm Inspired shade right here. And I'm just going to do a super quick wing. I'm taking it a little bit thicker on this outer edge right here. And I'm just going to kind of pull this out into that little cat eye. And when I kind of get it where I want it, I'm going to take the end of the little brush right here and just kind of stamp down. It'll just kind of connect everything together. So it's kind of a little wing situation going on here. I'm also going to do the inner corner with a angled brush. Just going to pull this out here and then connect it. I just love that wing within a wing look. So you kind of have this brown, smudgy, kind of a, almost like a messily, just kind of smudgy, just kind of really, I don't know, that 90s kind of messy little vibe kind of going on. It's just smoky and it's just kind of smudged right on top of that little more precise wing. So I'll just take this really, really close here and I just kind of make a little tiny baby wing, and then I just stamp right here and connect right here, and I get just this little tiny little wing. And then I usually go back to the flat to finer brush with a little bit more of that brown shade and just kind of smoke right on top of it and just kind of do the same thing, but pull it out and make it a little bit more elongated. And when you actually stamp with this, like I'm going to show you with this little brush right here, because if you look at the width of this and the size of this, it just really fits right here into the corner. So you can do your little wing and then just stamp. So I can't seem to find my lip liner, but I'm going to keep looking for it. I just used it. You guys can see that this whole collection bundle is everything about their relationship together, the artist and the muse. Everything from the names of the shade names, I mean, just everything. This one is He's a Mixer. This is the lipstick. And then this is the beautiful kind of a camel nude, beautiful creamy gloss. And this is the shade Proud of You. So this is what came in the bundle, as well as the lip liner, which is MIA at the moment. And now I'm going to use the blush. I touched up with the Hoola bronzer, just quickie tiny bit, and this is in the shade Very Graceful. It's just a stunning peachy coral shade, and you guys know how I feel about those peachy corals, because it's just, oh, I'm going to use this Tom Ford blush brush, and I have a feeling that this is quite pigmented, so I'm going to, you guys know I'm not an apples of the cheek blush person, so I'm going to hollow out, and then I'm going to feather this upwards. All right, guys, so that completes the look. I do have my fan here, and I have my Anastasia Dewy set, and I'm going to give a quick spray, and then I'm going to come back, and we're going to do our little end of the video chat, which is what I'm calling it. All right, you guys, I went ahead and really deepened up this wing. Wanted to add some depth and dimension into these lashes because I did not want to mess with false eyelashes today. So I used this is the Stila Stay All Day Liquid Waterproof liner in the shade Intense Black. You guys know that I don't mess with these liquid liners, but I did today because I didn't want to do the falsies, and I wanted to add a little bit more depth and drama and just some depth and dimension into the lashes. And then I topped it with this artist shade in this blue, and because this is a shimmer shade, you can see that it just really went on there nicely. It just, they blend, you know, shimmers just kind of have a softer kind of a, I don't know, just the grittiness and the texture of a shimmer. It just blends and meshes so nicely. All right, so that is it. Mwah. I love you guys, and thank you so much for watching, and I've got a lot of fun stuff coming up. I'm going to do some tutorials with these palettes right here. I got these are like $5 each. Essence brand. I had never tried their eyeshadows before, so I decided to give them a shot. I got a lot of stuff from ColourPop coming, including I got this brush roll set here. So we're going to use these. We're going to try these out here. And then I'm going to show you guys a bunch of new ColourPop stuff next time around. So that is what we're going to be doing. And sorry this got so long, but this look actually looks like it's simple, but there's a lot required. So required a little bit more explanation so you guys can nail the look. And all right, that's it. I'm done yakking. Mwah. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.